Greetings, fellow beavers of the Diorama. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Timberborn, Episode 5, Better Food. The levees are totally done, as you may have noticed. Not that we can make use of it, because there's no flowing water into it, but if there was... And as a result, all these blueberries are going to die off because they're flooded. Which is why I started planting blueberries elsewhere. But because our blueberry storage is like full, I don't even have the gathering flag for them at the moment. And this other gathering flag covers enough blueberries that like this flag might not even ever need to be turned on unless we have some sort of urgency. Oh, here we go. Deep water pump is done. So let's pause this one. And now we can use the top one. It would be good at some point to have water storage closer to this deep water pump up here and bigger water storage. As far as I know, water that is stored in a tank does not evaporate, so it is more drought proof than like stored water, but not as nearly as efficient. So now with that done, let's focus on the gears. So I'm going to high priority remove these bushes for my constructors to do that first. We'll get a gear workshop. And just like the wood workshop, and honestly, normally you would want like 4 industrial lumber mills to one gear workshop. But at least for now, I'm just going to do it like this, where we have, 1 and 1. Eventually, we'll scale it up, especially if we add more mechanical power. And then in this small warehouse next to the gear workshop, we'll store gears. So we'll have planks and gears. So this is the highest priority. So once we have a few gears made, I'll try to replace this compact water wheel with the giant wheel. The giant wheel... let's unlock now. Costs 80 planks. So it's a lot of planks to build up in order to get that built. I turned on a second deep water pump because we have some dehydration going. Nothing to do in range. Well, get rid of it. Another thing that might help out in the meantime, in order to get the planks we need in order for the big wheel, would be to get another power wheel to add more power to the grid. Yeah. So, sorry blueberries, but I'm gonna get rid of even more blueberries here, so that I can have more of my beavers running on power wheels in order to power up the workshops, which are at a speed and efficiency due to a lack of power. As you tech up, you get access to more efficient power generation. So there are... The large water wheel helps out a lot. It's 180 horsepower versus the 40. And then engines, which burn wood for power, which is incredibly good if you have a good source of wood, because it doesn't require a ton of... It has a much smaller footprint. And then gravity batteries to store extra work, or extra power, let's call it. So all of those things are going to be quite nice to have, for work efficiencies down the line. So the middle river is like at 50%, let's call it. Maybe a little bit more than 50%. So I'm going to have this backup well be pumping to make sure that... ooh, we hit 9. What was the 9th? I think we just fulfilled everything all at once. Someone hit 9, so what could it have been? I don't know how we hit 9. Let's check. Shelter, food, sleep, thirst, campfire. Yeah, I guess everything that we have just all came together at once. What do you guys want me to research next? So I could do... It's not just research. I should rephrase that. It's like build/research, but food stuff. So if you have me do food, what I would probably do is diversify our food a little bit by adding a new food source, which would be maybe either fermentation or hydroponic gardening or food factory. I would have you guys vote on that as a sub-poll. For wood, maybe go paper. Paper is a prerequisite for having TNT to be able to do a little bit of terraforming, or printing press. That would make people happier, although probably TNT would be more useful. For power, we could go engines, which would be a lot of power for wood exchange. That could be useful. Or even gravity batteries, if you want to see gravity batteries. But either of these are going to require metal and smelting first. Decorations and well-being would keep people happier and therefore more productive, which could be useful. And then I think I am going to stop cutting down these lower mangroves and have them produce fruit. I don't need to cut them down anymore for wood. Our wood supply is adequate now. But our mangrove fruit, not so much. We're waiting on a new batch of... Well, they're starting to fruit now, but mangrove fruit is in high demand. So the foot walkway bridge all the way across to the other side is almost done as well, which is cool. That will help shorten the walkway. And then also, once this is built, we can even get rid of this. Man, I kind of like this because it causes wet fur. But, you know, we could hypothetically get rid of that lower path if we wanted. So 4 days left. Still plenty of water. There's more than one elevation of water where this pump is. And the backup pump is still running as well. There's maybe 80% water in the lower section of the river, the eastern section of the river. You guys voted for decorations. So, in terms of decorations, I'm going to unlock multiples. I'm going to unlock shrubs. So shrubs provide aesthetics, which is going to make the areas more pretty. So I'm going to put some shrubbery around where people hang out. So I'll put shrubs here near that rooftop. I'll put shrubs here. I'll put shrubs here. And that should fulfill the shrub need. And then I'm also going to do roof. So I'm going to put a roof here and here. I mean, it looks real weird, but like it will fulfill roof needs. And that's pretty cheap. Between those two, shrubs and roofs, very inexpensive. And then the last thing, well-being was a close second. So I'm going to unlock shrines and do the same thing where I'll put some shrines in. And I like to put the shrines near where roofs are and near where shrubs are. Because then when you're praying at the shrine, you'll get the benefit of the roof and the shrub. So there's a roof here and a shrub here. I'm going to move this roof over. My roofs are going to be ugly, but efficient, in other words. So I'll build the roof first, and then I'll build the shrine next to it. And between these three things, we should see our well-being go up by about 3 or so. So build a big wheel and well-being stuff. Just summarize it that way. So speaking of the big wheel, we don't have anyone working the gear workshop. I'm going to move some workers around so that we get the gear workshop going. Who do I want to fire? Maybe an inventor. Oh, I think someone just grew up. Yeah, someone just grew up, so we don't have a work shortage. So once we have a few gears stockpiled, I'm just going to pause the gear workshop and just stockpile planks instead, because gears are made from planks. But with these shrubs we've got already, we should start to see the aesthetic needs of shrubs being fulfilled. So we'll keep an eye here. Oh, yeah. It's already fulfilled completely. That's a little boost to well-being. And the roofs are done. So after about a day, we'll see if we need more roofs. But I generally find that putting the roofs over the barracks will fulfill the roof needs for everyone, like pretty automatically. So as they spend time in the barracks, the roof needs fill up. So the last thing I wanted to do was the shrines. So if we put a shrine here, this shrine is next to the roof and next to the shrub. Which is going to get all the adjacency, and then I'll put another shrine there for the same deal. Next to the roof, next to the shrub. Is this a random map? No, this is Diorama. So now these shrines are the highest priority. All right. What to research or build next? Up to you. Now that small project, but impactful project is done. Or at least I think it's done. I'll have to analyze it to make sure that everyone's getting the bonuses. We've got metal, food, power, wood, well-being, decorations. So if you went for well-being, I would probably go for Lido, which fulfills the wet fur need and fun need. That needs access to water, but we have access to water. Like I could build it around here somewhere. Like build it right there, probably. If you'd go food, I would have you decide what kind of food to produce, other than just kohlrabies. And then metal, I would get the scavenger flag and start scavenging these old ruins for scrap metal. And then we'd have to unlock the smelter to turn it into actual metal to make use of it. So we are officially down to 1 elevation of water, but with 2.4 days left in the drought, that's like not a problem at all. I did mention building the big wheel, so let's do that now. In order to do that, I am going to cut these trees. You know what? I'm going to cut these trees. I'm going to move where the wheel is. So I'm going to cut those mangrove trees to make room for it. So I'm going to assign this a high priority for my my woodcutters. I could even just destroy those trees, but I'd rather turn them into wood. So let's make sure that my woodcutters are cutting the correct trees, I guess, by removing access to all the other trees for now. And then I'll put them back once those mangrove trees are gone. So this is where the big wheel is going to go. I'm going to get rid of the compact wheel. And then I'm going to get rid of the power that is being fed to it. Oh, you know what? That's a bad idea. Well, not exactly a bad idea. So for now, I'm going to at least have this here so that the lumber mill can be producing planks, because the big wheel requires planks. And you guys want food. Okay. So, subpoll. What food to process? So there's a few different options. We'll just go to the well-being here. So we could ferment cassavas, soybeans, mushrooms. Mushrooms are the most complicated because we would need hydroponics first. So I'm going to simplify it and just do cassavas or soybeans. Actually, soybeans are also... No, we could do soybeans. So we could add a fermenter for either cassavas or soybeans. The other thing that we could do is research the food factory to do corn, eggplant, corn or eggplant. So cassavas and soybeans are easier. Corn and eggplant is less easy. But you guys can pick. I'll give you 5 minutes to vote on that. Alright, my woodcutters are finally getting rid of the stuff that's blocking the big gear. So here, as you can see, the big gear is a honker, and it requires supports. This is going to be a little painful, but luckily we can refund some of the materials invested. So I'm going to move a power wheel from where it was to here. So we'll have a bunch of temporary wheels to power up this this goal. Or 2 temporary power wheels. This is a top priority. I'm also going to slow down breeding for a minute, because we have more workers than I have work. So with that out of the way, the large water wheel requires a platform to support it, like that. So we'll have a large water wheel here. And then the power is up here, so then we have to step the power down with a high power shaft. Which we could do there. Meaning that we're going to want a platform here with a turn for the power there. So that's why I needed to, like, destroy some stuff. There you go. That's going to be the large wheel once it's done. So the highest priority is to get this temporary power wheel to make sure that we are making the planks, because this is a very plank-heavy project. And right now, cassavas and corn is tied, so if you would be so kind as to offer up a tiebreaker, that'd be awesome. Ooh, and 11. So now, it looks like we need a little bit more roofing in order to satisfy the roof requirements. So I will add some extra roofs. Put one here, which is next to that rooftop. And I'll put one here and here, so that anyone walking by gets a little roof requirement fulfillment. Suggested Turtle, thank you for the resub. Now let's take a look. So roof needs to be a little bit better, but everything else is pretty much met except for shrines. So I think we might not either have enough time for shrines or not enough shrines. I'll keep an eye on shrines over time. Looks like the shrines are mostly not being used throughout the day, so it might just be a lack of downtime. So I'm going to do working hours to 15 to see if that corrects. And let's take a look at the most fulfilled person. So this is the most fulfilled person, and the benefit here is big. There's a 20% work speed, a 15% move speed, and a 20% age longevity as a result of having those needs fulfilled. So it's pretty serious in terms of its benefits. What's going on with the wood here? What the hell? Where's all my wood going? Oh, it's probably going straight into the wheel. Yeah, it's going straight into the wheel. Alright. Well, there's one thing I can do to help, which is to get 2 additional lumberjack flags to cut down all of these extra oaks and pines in order to catch up on our road requirements. And cassavas. So, we are going to build a big wheel and build a fermenter. So I think because you guys voted for fermentation, I'm not only going to do cassavas, I'm also going to do soybeans, because a fermenter handles both. So once I have a fermenter built, and the fermenters are a 1x3 that requires mechanical power, so what I could do is once the big wheel is built, right where this power wheel is, I can build a fermenter. So it's going to be big wheel and then fermenter. But once we have our fermenter, I will replace some of these kohlrabies with soybeans and with cassavas, and then we can plant soybeans and cassavas to fulfill that need. Now that the drought's ended, lowering the floodgates down to 0.5. All of them. But because we don't have the large wheel, I still have to run these manual wheels for now. But I can move... I can put another water pumper here so that we, because we have some people that are thirsty. Don't I need to designate to cut again? I do, and I forgot. That's why we fell behind. That's why we have no wood. Because derp. Alright, there we go. Totally blanked on that. Yeah, our wood will be fine now. That's what was backing up the lumber mill for so long. Just hadn't noticed. Unpausing the breeding pods now that the drought is over. And the beautiful thing is we have the triple floodgate, all with the triple levees ready for next big drought. So that's really, really useful to have at the ready. Let's clean up all these old logs, too. So, taking a look at our needs, roof is close to being fulfilled, but not all the way there. Same with shrine. So, I still don't have these roofs built. So I think it's a little bit too soon to say that I need more roofs, but I'll keep an eye on shrine to make sure that that gets fulfilled too, because I could always add another shrine in. That's not too hard to do. I could even do a shrine roof combo, like something like this, where we have like an elevated platform with a roof on it, and with a shrine underneath, so that it does both. Oh no, shrine can't go underneath. Well, I could do that next side by side or something like that. So we're about 50 planks away, just shy of 50 planks away from having the big wheel ready. And then I'll do the fermenting. Oh man, those planks got delivered quick. I guess we had them in stock. All the logs are delivered and we're only 22 planks away. So it's changing some of the priorities around so we could get the roofs up. To see if we can't more easily fulfill all the well-being. Alright, there's the extra roof. And this one too. This one's part of like a high traffic area, so I think that will help out a lot. I'm pretty sure with all these new roofs, we'll hit our goal of having everything roofed up. The builders are finally getting around to getting rid of all these old blueberry bushes. Jesus, that took a while. And I'm making it a high priority for them as well. That way we have space for cassavas and soybeans. Eight planks away from the large water wheel. Mark me down as excited. Ooh, and we got a drought coming in again. On hard mode, droughts are pretty frequent. So the struggle then becomes how to maintain productivity during droughts. Well, there we go. Water wheel is done. So we now have a lot of horsepower hooked up to that water wheel. So let's go ahead and get rid of this that wheel there and replace that with the fermenter. Build a fermenter to provide more food. So knowing that we have a fermenter up, or soon to be up, it would behoove me to change the food designations. So I think what I'll do, in order to make this look nice, is the elevated area up here will be for soybeans. So what it's going to require is removing a lot of like old crop, and then we'll keep the cassavas where they were, or kohlrabi rather, and then back here we'll do cassava. So unfortunately, I'm like destroying a lot of resources, but it's all to increase well-being even further. And roof well-being is now basically being met. Like, there's 2 people that didn't meet it, but that's close enough. I haven't played the update 5, so I don't have opinions on it. Generally speaking, as a content creator, I tend to avoid experimental branches because I'd rather have things work well than break down. Generally speaking. All right, so with the fermenter built, we have to... You guys voted on fermented cassava, so I will put that in. And then I am going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to replace this power wheel with another fermenter doing these soybeans. As you may have noticed from this setup, I no longer have the ability to run on manual wheels, which in 2.3 days is going to be a problem. So either I have to add more manual power wheels, which is fine to add in, maybe where the pine is or something like that, or alternatively like tech up to engines, but that of course requires steel. So what to research next will be up to you. We could do more food, water. Water would be like gauges would be nice to be able to figure out the depth of everything. We could do wood for paper probably. Metal. There's really nothing to be done in power until I get more metal, so I'll leave that out. Same with science. We could do well-being, which would be probably Lidos, or decorations. There's not a lot to actually be done in decorations without metal either. There's because the next decoration I would want would be the beaver statue, and that requires 30 metal. So I'm going to leave decorations out. So there you go. There's the list of what to research next. I have Roland Free Worker. Let's have you cut this tree up there down. Alright, so my builders are now freeing up space for soy and cassava. God knows I'm not blueberry back there. There we go. All of the soybeans sown. And as the builders deconstruct all that that old food, we'll put cassava back there too. So there's no point in running these fermenters until I actually have the vegetables on hand. But I'll free up tiny little storage next to where they are for both the raw form and the fermented form. So little warehouses. So this was for cassava. So this will be raw cassava. And then fermented cassava. And then this is soy, so raw soy. And then fermented soy. That way it's very easy for the fermenters to work. You guys want me to do metal, so let's get the scavenger flag. The scavenger flag allows us to scavenge metal ruins. So if I just get rid of, let's say, this lumberjack flag, bye-bye, and put in a scavenger flag, we can start breaking down these metal ruins for scrap metal, and then we also need to get a smelter up. So I need to figure out where to put a smelter, because I don't really have the space for one at the moment. But get a smelter up to turn that scrap metal into metal to make it usable. So the current priority right now is build metalwork. Or, yeah, metalwork. So, I have an idea. We're going to want to store the metal. But I'm also thinking about, once we have the metal, probably getting the engine. That's a lot of sort of science down the line. But we're going to want to store, like, the raw metal somewhere close. And then we're also going to need the smelter. So I'm going to wait for storage until I have the smelter. So the smelter is a 2x4. So it's slightly larger than the industrial lumber mill. And I could put it here, elevated, and attached to that. That's a pretty decent place to put it, I think. So I'm going to get rid of this mangrove tree. And then get rid of these kohlrabi. And elevate it. How's it been? Pretty good. Drought prep time, you are right. I am not paying attention. So let's flood the lower section. I should have drought prepped, like, way ahead of time, but I didn't. Thank you for the reminder. So lower section's flooded. Second section is flooded. And basically we have no, like, saved water, because I didn't pay attention. Should still be fine. Provided I, like, don't waste water. So let's pause the breeding pods. I'm bad at, like, paying attention to the drought timers. But we have, you know, the two rivers filled. Also hit the highest supplied. So shrines are fine. Roofs are basically fine. Roofs and wet fur. So I could use, like, a few more roofs here or there to make sure that the roofing needs are being fulfilled. But for the most part, they're being supplied. Thank you for tuning in to Timberborn, which originally streamed live on Twitch December 27th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it. as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you on next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Iron Teeth.